Alright, Winky, here's what you're gonna need for this soup. 2 garlic cloves, you're gonna have to dice these up. Red pepper flakes, salt, cardamom, coriander seed, and that's a seed too for the cardamom. Star anise, celery, ginger, carrots, vegetable bouillons, onions, bay leaf, 2 of those, and mushrooms, and believe it or not, 2 potatoes. In a saucepan, you're going to take these 2 carrots that you cut in slices, along with the bay leaf. You're going to put it in the pot for cooking. And you're going to cook these for about, I'd say about 5 minutes or so. And the oil you're going to use is olive oil. Just coat the bottom with a little bit of olive oil, not a lot. Just enough to get them started. So you're going to put that in there like that. And then you take your vegetable bouillon, 2 cubes of these. Well, I would say 3 to give it a really good taste. 3 cubes of vegetable bouillon. And you put these in the pot as well to saute. Drop those in there like that. And then you put the rest of the ingredients. Now the potatoes are pretty small. You only need 2 small potatoes. If you see the width of my hand, they're not that big. So you're going to 2 small potatoes, okay? And you're going to use 3 onions, 3 whole onions, and you're going to dice those up. And with the potatoes, just cube them like that. That's all you really need to do. Just cube them and throw them in the pot with the carrots that's already cooking, because the carrots are a little bit more harder than the potatoes, so you want them to cook a little faster. Dump those in. Give the pot a little stir. Make sure they coat it well. And go on to your next one. So the next thing you're going to cut up is all 3 of your onions, diced like that. It could be large or small, doesn't really matter. And then you're going to dump these in a pot as well. But remember, 3 onions, and you're going to dump them in the pot. Give that a stir, and continue to let it cook. Okay, now with the garlic, you want to make it easier for yourself and just do a quick smash with your hand. Smash it. And then kind of dust that stuff off of it like this, the leaves part of it. Just like that, and they come right out. I got this bag of trash right here so I can keep it ready to go when I have all this stuff that I cut up ready to go. So then you peel it. When you peel the skin off of it, and then you dice these up. So you should have all these garlic pieces ready to go. And you do the second one the same way, because you're going to need 2 garlic cloves. And dice these up. Now with the celery, you're going to need 3 stalks. Pretty good sizable stalks. Make sure you wash them off, and then you're going to dice them. And when you dice them, just put them right in the pot. And I'll show you how to do a quick dice. You're going to split it right down in the middle. And just dice. Go. Quick and easy. And then we'll take them and dump them in the pot. I have to change pots because the other one was a little too small for soup base, but got a big pot, more ingredients, so we gotta do what we gotta do. You're gonna give it a rough stir to make sure nothing's sticking at the bottom. But some of these pots will stick at the bottom, like right there, it's a little sticky. So just give it a rough stir. Make sure everything's nothing sticking to the bottom. And I got it on a low heat. pretty low, but right here, you know what I mean? You don't want to get it hot yet, super hot, but you just want these vegetables to sweat, and we'll put in the seasoning in just a second. But right now we're getting all the tougher vegetables that take longer to cook rather, in there. And the onion, you just want it to sweeten it up with everything else, all right? Now with ginger, it's a little different. You want to basically cut it in half, and then you skin off the top of it. Let me show you what it looks like in the middle. Just like this. And again, this is the size of a piece of ginger, so we'll use both of these. And I'm going to skin these, and then I'm going to chop it in half and chop it up a little bit to give that gingery flavor. You'll smell it when you cut it. So the ginger has been skinned, and now I'm about to dice it up. And you just cut it from here to here to here. Same thing with this one. You want to cut it long ways, and that way you can dice it well. So when you cut it long ways, you want to turn the vegetable, well, the root, this way, and then you dice it that way, and you get good dices. And there you have it. You have some really good diced ginger. And also, if you want to grow ginger, you can. This plant right here is actually a ginger plant. All you gotta do is put it in a little soil, throw some dirt over it, and it grows just like that. It's a pretty plant. But that's my ginger plant. So the mushrooms I chose are baby portobello mushrooms. They have a good balance of flavor. And it doesn't give you a lot of mushroomy taste, but you can still really use these. And you're gonna cut them quick. I washed them really well, so I'm ready to cut. Okay, when cutting mushrooms, you want to basically cut them right down the middle. Right there. Flip them on the side, and you give them a real quick slice. You can do large slices or small slices, your choice. Like that. And that's all you want to do to those, okay? Alright, so the mushrooms are diced. Well, not diced, but sliced a bit. And that's about 15 mushrooms, which you're going to need that for the stock to actually have a flavor that you want. So the next thing we're going to do first, before we put in the mushrooms, we're going to put in these seasonings. Again, you got to start in these. You're going to need one of these. Just one. Put that in the pot. And then now you're going to take your coriander seeds, and this is what really gives it that Asian flavor along with the star anise. So you're going to put maybe 2 teaspoons of it in there. And as you can see, just a seed. Give it a little rough toss. Make sure there's nothing sticking at the bottom. And if something's sticking at the bottom, turn your heat down a little bit. Just a little bit. Put it right there, because my stove top cooks pretty fast. So I'm just going to give that a rough toss. You can see that steam coming off of those vegetables are letting loose the juices. And the ginger is in there as well. So now we're going to go with the carrot. And I'm not going to put too much of it, but maybe like a half a teaspoon maybe. So yeah, you good there. Give that a rough mix. Make sure there's nothing sticking at the bottom. If so, scrape it off a little bit, because that's flavor. You want that flavor. So, man, if you smell this, it's really starting to take its flavor. Okay? And now, we're going to put our salt. And since it's going to be a lot of water, you want to put a liberal amount of salt, but not too much to over salt it, but just enough to give it a little taste. You know what I mean? And just enough to give it a taste. And for our spice, we're going to go with red pepper, ground red pepper to be in fact. And you don't have to put a lot of that in there, just enough to give you just a hint of spice. Alright? One ingredient I almost forgot was fennel seeds. And you don't really need a lot of these, just a touch of fennel seed. Just a little bit, because you don't need a bunch, just enough. I'll say about half a teaspoon of fennel seeds, because fennel seeds are really strong, have a real strong flavor to them, so you don't want to put too much fennel in there, okay? So now that I got all my seasonings in there, I'm going to give that a rough stir. I'm know I'm a little country when I say stir. Or a stir. We're gonna stir it around. And it looks like the potatoes are actually doing what I need to slowly soften up. And that's gonna release a lot of starches that I need for that base to be a good, not creamy, but a good flavoring, which enhances, and the bay leaves and the fennel and the coriander, carrots, celeries, and onions, all those things are going to marry together when we just put the water in. So now I went ahead and dumped the mushrooms in out there. Everything has been sauteed a little bit, so now I'm just going to mix that around a little bit and let these mushrooms get soft enough. And you really don't have to, but I like to mix them a little bit to get them married in with the rest of the ingredients. So now we're about to put the water in there. We're going to fill this thing pretty liberal with water since we got a bunch of ingredients. And this is more than half water. That's good enough right there. So we've got it back on the stove top. We'll give it a little stir. And again, try to get those bits and pieces that's on the bottom to come up. Looks like it's a lot of mushrooms, but that's what you want. You want plenty of mushrooms, plenty of fennel, well not fennel, sorry, plenty of coriander seeds, and everything at the bottom is just going to make this soup so delicious. So as you can see, there's plenty of water in there. You want this to cook for 3 to 4 hours. 3 to 4 hours. And we're going to bring the heat up a little bit on it. So almost about, not even medium, but you want it to start to boil. About right there. So you see where it's high. And this is pretty much in the middle here, but I don't want it all the way in the middle because again, my stove cooks pretty fast. So we're going to let this cook. And we'll come back and look at it in 3 hours. Alright, so it's been about an hour. And it looks like everything is coming straight together. I can't see it because of the steam, but man, it smells really, really good. I'm going to give it a quick taste, just a sample it, see where we're at with the taste. Yeah, it needs to cook just a little bit more, and I think we'll be straight. And right over here, I'm just making a little tofu, and that's going to go on top of the ingredients once we get ready to put the bowls together. Well, it's been about 3 hours, and what I did was strain all the juices through this strainer, and I pressed it down, and now we got a good broth working. So that broth is what's making the foam steam, but it actually is a good broth. So let me finish doing this. I had a little bit of organic mellow white miso paste in it, just a spoonful, and let that kind of marinate a bit, maybe another 5 minutes, and we'll be ready. All right, now we're gonna build the soup. We got bok choy, broccoli, mushrooms, and we're gonna top it off with bean sprouts, Thai basil, and cilantro, and also carrots. So all these will be going into it. And not to forget, we do have noodles at the bottom. So noodles will go in first, then the vegetables, and then you put the broth. So with the bok choy, you want to go ahead and saute it up a little bit, let it brown, and then once it browns, so for the noodles, you also want to put sesame oil on it. You just put a little bit of dab in it, and then you mix it around, and then it keeps the noodles from being sticky, and you can actually give it an extra taste to it. So sesame oil. So our bok choy is actually sauteed. Now we're going to go ahead and put in the broccoli and the mushroom for just a quick saute, and we'll put that as the part of the basic soup. So now we're basically sauteing the mushrooms in. broccoli a little bit. Just want to char it just a slight bit. It's on low heat. Get a little oil on it. Vegetable oil is what I use. So basically give it a little toss here and there, just to kind of soften it up. So that's all you really need to do is toss it a little bit and soften it up. Alright, so now let's build a bowl. So here's our bowl with the noodles that also has sesame seed oil on it to keep them from sticking, as well as give it a little flavor. So we're going to put our mushrooms in here and broccoli. You can put as much as you want. It's really your choice. I would just say, you know, me, I love vegetables, so I'm just going to put as much as I can in it. But the broccoli, it really gives it a good base to it, give it a good crunch. So we're going to put those in, and then afterwards we're going to go ahead and ladle in our sauce. Alright, we got the sauce ready, the broth that is. So we're going to go ahead and put this in the bowl. Go. Now we're going to move toward our vegetables. Alright, so now we're going to go first with our Thai basil. If Winky can put a couple pieces of Thai basil in there for me. Yeah, it's perfect. Now we're going to go with the cilantro. Perfect. A little bit of carrot. You don't want too much carrot. Perfect. Just give it a little color. Now the bean sprouts. Really good choice. You can put as many as you want or less you want. Perfect. And now the bok choy. And there you have it. There is your vegan pho. Enjoy.